What's up, everybody? It's your favorite FPL YouTubers, back at it with another Game Week preview and analysis video, this time for Game Week 35. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm Jarrett,
I'm Evan.
and this is How to FPL.
Um, Hi guys. We got a fun analysis for this week. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
All right, so my team overall did pretty well last week. I went up about 10,000 places, which is pretty sweet. Kind of safely in the top 50K at this point, which is good because top 50K was like my goal for the season. And yeah, I had, some really outstanding performances from a few select of my players. Robbo got a huge haul in just one game. Alonso over the course of two games got a massive 19 points, and that was one of my transfers in, so I'm very happy with that. And then Saka got a pretty big haul too. And Salah and Trent both got small returns as well. So, the captaincy choice didn't go well, but, captaining Timo Werner, I had to kind of accept that could epically fail, and it did. But, still a big green arrow, and I'm pretty happy with how things went.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could have expected much better. I think as far as like the Chelsea players people brought in, seems like more or less all Chelsea transfers were fails besides Alonso. So those of us who brought in Alonso went up in rank or did well, and those of us who didn't were left in the dust. As you'll see shortly, I was left in the dust.
Yeah. And on that topic,
Yeah. So I had a horrible game week, an absolute stinker of a game week this week, and it's really disappointing because we were talking about this before recording, but it just feels like I was so close to having a good game week. Maybe if wasn't even a crazy one, like as you said, Jarrett, it's a high variance game week this week. And I brought in the wrong three Chelsea players. Oh, by the way, I free hit it, which we didn't talk about in the last video. This was a last minute decision. And when I made it, I was like, wow, why didn't I think of this before? What a great decision. Like I can literally bring in players from just these three teams. I can bring in Chelsea double game weekers, I can bring in City players, and I can bring in Alexander Arnold, who I didn't have and who I thought could haul versus Everton. Um, Little did I know um, that it would actually be Robertson, who I already had, who would haul versus Everton, who I decided to leave out of my free hit team for Van Dijk, just for pure cost reasons. Um, you know, my City players crapped the bed. Sterling, I predicted all of the starters, all of my players started. I was like, man, this great predictions, and then all fails. So sad.
Man
But
City scored 5 goals and you didn't get any involvement.
I know, and no one. I mean, I never even considered Gabriel Jesus. It didn't even like cross my mind. I don't know about you, over Werner, but yeah,
Yeah, I
disgrace of a
think
game
I think
week.
this is a situation where you just gotta kind of sit back and have a laugh at yourself, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like not bringing any Chelsea defense, specifically Alonso, when he absolutely popped off. You had Robbo and Saka on your original team and then free hitted them out. No Man
Yeah,
City, none of your Man City players scored, and they scored 5 goals. It's pretty absurd, to be honest. But you know what? It happens.
yep. Judge the decision, not the outcome. There you go.
Yeah.
So to get into our clean sheet odds, um, we've got Villa. with the highest odds of a clean sheet against Norwich, which I think is a little bit interesting. I mean, Norwich did get shut out by Newcastle last week, but I'm curious, Jared, if you have any other thoughts on the Villa Norwich game.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see them at the top, to be honest. Villa have been sneakily dropping points like pretty consistently. I think they're in like 15th place or something right now. So like they're barely outside the relegation zone at this point. I mean, they're not going to get relegated, but it's not like Gerrard's been, amazing this season. So I'm a little surprised to see them with that high of a chance to keep a clean sheet. I would be surprised if they do that. Looking elsewhere, though, I don't think there are really too many surprises about the teams topping these clean sheet odds. These are the ones that are topping the clean sheet odds every week. Liverpool, Man City, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, all near the top. So
Yeah. Do you see Newcastle having a reasonable chance of putting one past Liverpool?
I'd say they have a decent chance of putting one past Liverpool. Honestly, I think that game will probably be pretty low scoring though. So I could see Newcastle not scoring in Liverpool, maybe only getting one or two versus their usual, four or five.
Yeah, entirely possible, especially if key players get rotated, as we will discuss in a bit.
Definitely.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? All right.
Not exactly.
So yeah, looking at our captain poll, Salah tops the poll again, and this one is interesting, just because there is speculation that he's getting rested. I hear. Obviously, um, anything could happen. But Jared, you were saying something about Luis Diaz just playing more minutes recently.
Yeah, I think I was reading about how someone was looking at like a pattern of how Liverpool players are substituted versus Liverpool attackers specifically are substituted versus how they like start in the next game, and that person predicted that Salah was going to get rested. So, it could happen. Newcastle on paper looks like a winnable game. I would still probably be surprised if he does get rested, though. I mean, as long as he starts, he's obviously a great captain choice. He can bang him in any week. Look
For
at
sure.
those chiseled abs.
Yeah, especially when you're comparing him to the likes of Spurs attackers who aren't in the very greatest form as of late. You see De Bruyne is fourth on his captain poll. Obviously, a good option if you have him. I doubt that many people do have him just because they have Salah or Son.
Yeah, honestly, like if I could restructure my team, I would have like Salah and De Bruyne, just because De Bruyne's been like that good since he came back from injury in January or February or whatever. Back to the Spurs attackers, they are playing probably a pretty easy opponent. So I think that's probably why so many people are captaining them. They're playing Leicester, I think, at home. After Leicester are trying their best to win their European tie. They'll probably be tired and or rotate for the Spurs game. But Spurs have, I think they've gone two games now without a single shot on target. So that's not boding very well for them. So I would be a little wary captaining a Spurs attacker.
Yeah, it's probably another question of whether you're chasing points or holding. I think if you have Salah and you're in the lead of your mini league, or you're in a good spot in your overall rank, captain Salah. You want to spice it up, go for someone else. Um, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, goal scorer odds. This is a similar boat to the last slide. Obviously, we've got four of the probably the four most common high price premium price range attackers top the list. So nothing super surprising there. We've got a few Man City attackers further down. Any thoughts, Jarrett?
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to think that this algorithm is very biased because this is the second week in a row that I haven't seen any Arsenal players on the list. And they've been kind of banging in the goals, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised there's no Bukayo Saka on here.
especially if he's on pens.
Yeah, maybe it hasn't taken into account like the more recent data or something. But lots of Man City players on here. The usual suspects near the top. I don't think there are too many surprises here.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus up there. We'll see if he can actually continue his sterling form.
He needs to stop playing so well, or he's not going to get signed by Arsenal.
You guys can have him. All right.
So this is how my team is probably going to line up for the next game week. I think I'm probably going to start Ramsdale over Sanchez, but that is kind of a toss-up at this point. And then I'm starting all my defenders, I think, just because they all can score any game and they're all playing relatively easy opponents. Obviously, gonna play Saka. I might captain him. We'll see. The captain right now is really a toss-up. Starting Foden, starting Saka. He is marked as 75%, but he was pictured in Arsenal training today. Today's Thursday, in case you're watching it at a later date. And so I would expect him to start as well. And then Veghorst has picked up his form, so he's making his way back into the starting 11. And Timo Werner up top as well.
Yeah.
The reason I have the armband on Saka right now is just in case Salah gets rotated. And West Ham, I saw Kurt Zuma play today, so I guess maybe they have him. But Dawson got a red card, and all their other center backs are hurt. So their only fit center back right now is Zuma, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm super envious of this team, especially your defense. I mean, I think if most people were to pick any single 5 players for their defense, it might not be exactly this. There might be a Cancelo in there over a James or an Alonso. But outside of that, I think you have like the ideal defensive structure, the 5 at the back that's been working so well. And the rest of your team, bar your subs, is already set for game week 36. So it's looking good. I think I would be pretty confident if I was in your spot. I think I'd probably be looking to, I'd be looking to get rid of, well, I don't even know, Rafinha. Martinelli's chilling, perhaps. But Rafinha and Broya are those are the two main spots that you'll probably be looking to change soon. Is that right?
Yeah, let me just address that quickly, because I am planning on bench boosting in 36, so I'll just kind of address my thinking of how I'll end up changing my squad. So I'm leaning towards rolling my transfer this week rather than making changes immediately because my lineup does look pretty good this week. And, injuries could happen or whatever, so I'd rather just go, roll the transfer if I can. As far as players who I'm looking to get rid of, definitely Broya, because he doesn't do anything, and he also doesn't double in 36, so I don't see any reason to have him. Rafinha is actually in good form, relatively, and he's in a relegation fight, so, he's going to play every minute, probably. And while his fixtures aren't great, he does double in 36. So I think I'm actually going to keep him.
Yeah,
Martinelli, he seems to have lost his starting spot to Smith Rowe, which is a little disappointing. But, there might be some rotation from Arsenal. And even if there isn't, he seems to come off the bench every game. So in the double, he would probably still play like 60 minutes or so. So I'll probably just leave him in my team. Honestly, the transfers I'm looking to make for ahead of the double, barring any injuries, are probably Sanchez to Schmeichel, because Leicester have really easy games in the double. I think it's Norwich at home and Everton at home or something like that. And probably Broja to Pukki, because he also doubles.
shaping up to be a really nice team.
And having said that, it'll probably go terribly.
As always. Yeah, my team's not looking quite as great. Still
Don't
not.
say that.
Yeah, for this game week, not a bad team. I think the only part of my starting lineup that I really don't like right now is Adams, obviously. So I'm gonna have to do something about him. I'm looking at someone like a Pookie, or there are options, but honestly, that transfer might also be a wait and hold for next week. Just to I can reassess, get some more time to make the decision, because I don't want to like make the wrong decision about the forward I'm bringing in. I'm almost certainly going to bring in Laporte for Kilman. City just have great fixtures, and Laporte is such a good value, I think, for the form he's in FPL wise, that to me it just seems like an obvious transfer. I guess my other overall issue is just lack of funds right now.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a horrible bench, and no funds to upgrade them after I upgrade Kilman. So I can upgrade Kilman to Laporte, and then after that, I'm a bit strapped for cash. So the real question is, where do I get it? And the likely answer is going to be from Salah or Kane, which is a pretty big decision, especially given this week both of them are about neck and neck in the captain poll, the goal scorer odds. So that's if I were to make the decision this week, I would be really fussing over it. But I think what I'm going to do is the classic wait and see for next week. While I have both of them, I may as well keep them, and then reassess a week down the line. Maybe one of them gets hurt. Maybe, Spurs fail to score again for a third week in a row, and the answer is obvious.
Yeah, I was going to add, you were just talking about how you don't think your team looks very good, maybe going forward, but honestly, I think your team looks really good for this week. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs were able to, put a few goals past Leicester, even though they have been really poor lately. And you have that covered for sure. Besides maybe Che Adams, I could see all of your starters getting returns. So
Yeah, fair enough. No, maybe I was just saying that in order to not jinx it.
and I'm making sure it gets jinxed.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I guess as far as chip strategy, I'm the same as you. I'm going to bench boost in 36. I mean, almost surely. It just, especially with City now being scheduled officially to double in 36, it seems like a no-brainer to me. So I think for everybody who still has the bench boost chip, they should probably be aiming to use that chip in 36.
Yeah, you can get a team of almost all doublers. It's pretty much perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And Zaha doesn't double in 36, but he does double in 37. So as far as keeping him in my team, I count that as the same thing. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Right. Having said that, make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe send the video to a few of your friends. Share the channel on social platforms. No, just kidding. But do
Yeah.
follow us on Instagram and Twitter at how_2FPL. It's lit.
Leave us some comments also. Like if you like it, let us know what you think. Like things you liked, things we could improve on, just what you thought of our analysis, our pretty
That we're
faces.
ugly.
Yeah,
Bully
exactly.
us. Please bully us.
We love getting bullied. Anyway, yeah. Thanks again, guys, and see you next week.
Bye.